Hi guys, it's Andy from mcfcfantv. How is everyone? Hope you're well. This is going to be a very, very quick one. I don't have time to go live later. I'm busy with work. So just wanted to come on. God, I've just literally tuned into Twitter and it's just a bore fest of Koulibaly. You got fans that throwing the toys out the pram and now slagging off the board again. And they've not done this, they've not done that, they haven't done this, they haven't done that. I mean, it's just absolute garbage. And I'm just fed up of it. I am. I might even just completely come off Twitter for the next, God knows that, well, certainly for certain things anyway, because I'm just fed up of reading the same old nonsense by so-called City fans. Just find it unbelievable. It really is. But anyway, I'll say a quick hello. Hi, Sean. How are you? Sam Elliott's on. Hello. Joe Smith. Hello. How are you, mate? Sam says elbow cough. Fair enough, mate. Hello, Blues Addy. How are you, mate? Sick of transfer rumours now. I don't mind transfer rumours. I mean, that's what we're here for, to pass on any news. But when it's just absolute nonsense. It really is. And then everyone dives into it, and there's like people tweeting one thing, and then there's like 400 comments below, all just nonsense, absolute nonsense. And it's like people are, these so-called City accounts are just trying to whip up a frenzy and create clickbait and things like that. And I just find it so boring. Really, really boring. I really do. But maybe some people love the drama. Not for me. Hello, says Sam. How are you? Devon Last. Hello. Whatever that is, I don't know. Chris Linley, hi. How are you, buddy? Hope you're well. Sean Fogarty, it's getting really frustrating. Yeah, well, I'm not frustrated about the transfer stuff. I'm really not frustrated about the transfer stuff. I'm frustrated with so-called City fans and just the absolute nonsense treating a transfer window like it is FIFA. And you just think, do you ever go and watch games? Do you ever actually go and pay money and go and support the club? Do you ever do anything other than moan and whinge and whine about everything? Oh, I want this play. Oh, we should have this play. And I was reading something before Martin made a comment on Twitter. That's why I thought, right, I've got 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to come on here now. And Martin said, oh, there was some good points in that. I thought these points were absolute garbage, if I'm being honest. And I'll read through some of the points in here. And it talks about this transfer window was supposed to be a great one. Whoever said from the club, this transfer window is going to be a great one? Whoever ever said that or promised that or anything? Nobody did. Quite possibly forever. We've only signed Varane and Ake. Two good signings. It's over £60 million worth of signings we've signed. Yet we haven't found Kompany's replacement 2 years after he left. We don't expect Silva replacement nor a striker. It's depressing. Well, hold on a minute. With that particular point, wasn't everybody decrying last season the fact that, well, David Silva shouldn't be given an extended contract because it will just then put the block on Phil Foden's progression? But in the next breath, goes on and starts talking, or a couple of posts later, talks about the fact that we should get Aouar in as a replacement for David Silva. Hold on a minute. Mahrez is struggling to get game time in his preferred role, but you want to bring Aouar in, and whose position is he going to take? Is this going to be, we now want to block Phil Foden's progression into the team? Goes on to say, Ake's decent, Varane's a signing for the future, but we need someone who walks straight into the lineup. So again, wants to block the progression of Phil Foden. And more so, we need a leader. He goes on to say, we did have David Silva as a leader and we've lost him. David Silva was never a leader at the club. He was very quiet. He was given the captain's armband just as a nominal thing because it was his last year. He's never going to be a leader on the pitch because he's English. He doesn't speak English perfectly well. He's not one of those motivational people. So, that was taken out of Kevin De Bruyne's hand or Laporte's hand. with regards to that. So as far as a leader goes, stop jumping on this leader bandwagon. Kevin De Bruyne is a perfectly good, suitable captain for next season, regardless of whether Koulibaly comes into the club or not. Then goes on, I would prefer Aouar at the club, even if it means we have to sacrifice somebody. Well, look, I'll tell you what, bring Aouar in and get rid of Mahrez, because they both are going to end up playing in the same position. Where is Aouar going to play in this team? Because he ain't going to take Kevin De Bruyne's position. And we all have been wanting Phil Foden. Now he's finally got his chance to play this coming season. But now we want a direct replacement for somebody to go in. And it's like, this is not FIFA. And some of these people, I don't know how old they are, they drive me up the wall, because you just think, are you delusional? Are you absolutely delusional in going, well, 1 minute you're moaning about Foden not getting a chance, then he gets a chance, but then you want to bring in a direct replacement. Tell you what, let's sell Kevin De Bruyne and bring Aouar in to suit some people's agendas, because that's the only position he's going to take. Aouar won't play on the right unless you want to get rid of Mahrez. Let's get rid of Mahrez then. But that'll upset some people. And it's like, well, where do you want these people to play? Do you want to bring in a 40, 50 million euro, 60 million euro player and then go and sit on the bench because Mahrez has got that position. Kevin De Bruyne has got that one. Bernardo Silva's struggling to get games, but you'll have to sit on the bench and just ride your time out. I don't know what planet some of these people are on. I really do not understand it whatsoever. Made a decent point about left-back, about Koulibaly, about Clichy and Kolarov. Let's face it, Clichy and Kolarov are coming to the end of their time. And let's face it, said left in 2016. Okay, just remind me, what did we do and what did we win with these left-backs in the preceding 3 years after 2016? How many trophies did we win? How many trebles? We won a treble. Won a quadruple. We were centurions. Still not good enough for some people, because we've had one average season where we've won 2 trophies. All right, Community Shield and a League Cup. And that's just simply not good enough for some people. It's so spoiled. It just drives me absolutely bananas. It really does. And it's like, that's why it's a bore fest with some people. And I don't care. You can unfollow me, do whatever you like on Twitter. I really don't care, because Twitter at the moment is the most boring place on the planet, full of absolute proper melons who need to give the heads a wobble. It really does. It drives me mad. Board of KK now should definitely go as well. Well, the rumours are City, one rumour, and this is the whole thing with it's just like clickbait. One rumour saying City have never, ever put in a bid for Koulibaly, an official bid ever in there. Then others say, well, it's between 10 million euros is the difference, and then it's this, and, it's all nonsense. Well, one person is clearly right, one person is clearly wrong, or both of them are wrong, because they cannot both be right. And that's the thing. They just play each other off, and it's tedious. It really, really is tedious. What is Cheeky waiting for? You don't even know whether Cheeky's made a bid or not, according to the reports. And according to another report that came out on Twitter, City has always said they'll only spend 55 million. That's all they think he's worth. And they are definitely going to be looking at Jimenez. So there you go. Tom Betts, hi Andrew, how are you? I don't know whether that was to me or another Andrew. Read a comment on Twitter that City board are probably not spending any more because they want to keep some money for the next manager, which is probably true. Don't know. Absolutely no idea, unless people know Cheeky and Ferran and have got the inside info at board level at Manchester City. Other than that, how do they know? How does anybody know? It's just pure speculation. And that's fine. Everyone's got an opinion on things, but when it's just all over Twitter and then you've got so-called City fans arguing and going on, and it's just pathetic. It really, really is pathetic. It just reminds me, and I just say, are you a City fan or are you a rag? Because you sound like an entitled United fan, because you haven't won something and because you think you should, are determined to win this, and that should be your trophy. And suddenly it's not going very well. We only win 1 trophy or 2. That's not good enough. And you just think, what planet are these people on? What planet are they on? And they all talk like, they know we should have this player, we should have that player in. Well, tell you what, send your CV into Khaldoon. Because clearly you know far more about football transfers than, cheeky Begiristain, Ferran Soriano, and Pep Guardiola. Maybe you are better at FIFA than they are. That's the only thing I can understand about the whole thing. Looks like Tosin wants to leave according to esteemed companies 22. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because I don't think he'll get a chance at City. Why wouldn't he want to? Why would he not want to leave? Why would he want to sit in a team after he's just had a good season, a decent season in the Championship? Why would he want to sit in a City team on the bench? It's frankly not good enough. If people are going, yeah, but he's homegrown and he's this, that, and the other. People are talking about wanting Koulibaly. And that he's this, wonderful player who's going to, at 29, 30, going to walk into the Premier League, be this Vincent Kompany leader, and not get injured, unlike the 64 days he was injured in Serie A last season. And he's going to just drive us forward and speak English and adapt to the Premier League in an instant. Like it's, I don't know where this thinking comes from. I just don't get it. And yet, people are talking about, well, they're letting Tosin go for 8 million quid. He wants to go. Well, he's not. Well, what do you want? Tosin Adarabioyo, or do you want Koulibaly? Or do you want Jimenez? Well, you can't have everybody. The rumours, obviously, Otamendi might be going to Porto, or he might be going back to Valencia. We don't know yet. But you can't have everything. You just cannot have everything. You've got to keep players happy. And, it's... If Tosin wants to go, he'll make the right decision, and so he should. And for anybody who has watched the Kevin De Bruyne documentary on Made in Belgium on the City website, look at how many times from a kid, when he was a kid, he just turned around and told his dad, I want to move teams. It'll be better for my progression. Then, obviously, what happened at Chelsea and Wolfsburg and Werder Bremen, and then, these things. He knew what was best for him at that time, and Tosin needs to do exactly the same thing. He doesn't owe City anything. City have sent him on loan for the last 2 years, so he don't owe us anything. And if he's not good enough, or the club don't feel he's good enough to break into that sort of centre back berth or backup centre back, then he has to move on for his own career. It just makes sense. But people moaning about it, and it's like, come on, be realistic about the whole thing. But anyway, good points, Andy. But Aouar's never played on the wing. He's a midfielder. No, but it's not about whether he's played on the wing or not. My point to you is then, whose place is he going to replace? Because the comment in the tweet was, we want a direct replacement in the midfield, and Aouar should be that person. Whose place is he going to take? Do you want him to take Phil Foden's place? If you do, then don't ever moan about Foden not playing for City again or getting enough opportunities. You can't just go and people moaning about Foden last season, he's not had enough chances, he's not had this, and then want Aouar to come in and replace him, because the only other midfield spot he could replace is Foden. He's not going to replace Kevin De Bruyne. He simply isn't. So the only other option is to get rid of Bernardo Silva if you want to, which for me, to bring Aouar in, garbage, average player at best, to replace Bernardo Silva, who was our player of the year the season before. Bernardo Silva might be back to his brilliant best next season. We know he's proven in the Premier League. Or play Aouar on the right wing instead of Mahrez and get rid of Mahrez. But you can't just bring him in, and you can't squeeze 14 players into a team. Somebody has got to lose out. And the only two people will be get rid of Kevin De Bruyne, which that ain't going to happen. Right, let's just stop the whole progress of Phil Foden by bringing Aouar in. And that ain't going to happen. No chance. So I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to sort of be objective with the whole thing. It's just nonsense. It really is. Evening, fellow Blues. Roberto, how are you, mate? Andy Martin, that's the part I thought was valid as well. We desperately need a company replacement. Well, maybe not. If we won the Premier League last season and not the Community Shield and the League Cup, would anybody be complaining? I don't know. Maybe you would still be complaining. I don't know. My only one is actually a centre midfield, someone with a bit of pace who is box to box, Foden's attacking, KDB's all round, Gundogan slow, Rodri slow, Bernardo is also attacking. You don't want much, do you, buddy? He's always thought, oh well, yeah, but I mean centre midfield. Who? This is the thing. Whose position is he going to take in central midfield? Whose? Um, have we got Phil Foden? We don't need a midfielder at the moment. I'm with you on that one, Sean. All we need is a centre back. Yeah, I'm sure we do need a centre back. We know that. To be fair, I don't want a 29-year-old centre back who may have 2 seasons before we have to go and replace him and cost 70 million, not value for money for me. That isn't for me, and it certainly doesn't sound like it is for the City either. Koulibaly isn't coming. We'll have to trust in Stones, says Tommy. Well, I'm sure City are still looking at other options and maybe have done for a while. Oh God, this bell ends on. Let me just get rid of him. I've got rid of him already. Most boring person I've ever spoken to on this channel. Where is he? Lupus. Some of his comments are just beyond. Where is he? Can't find him now. There he is. Let's just get rid of that. Just get him off the channel. He's a right knob jockey. We have Foden, but Pepe's yet to play him in centre midfield. We don't really play in centre midfield, though. We play with an 8 and a 10. We don't play in a central midfield role. The central midfield role is held by the likes of a Rodri or a Gundogan. That's the problem. We don't have a central midfielder. We play with an 8 and a 10. I think biomodel is important. You need fresh face in change room every 2-3 years, just everyone on their toes. And that's what we've done so far this season. Spot on, Addy. Yeah, we've brought 2 players in, and we possibly still will bring in another 1 or 2 players. So, yeah, I don't know what. Are not good enough to replace David Silva? Well, the thing is that spot's supposed to be taken by Phil Foden. But if people want to get rid of Foden now and bring in Aouar, who's not even proven, and let's face it, he's all right. He's a 6 out of 10 most games. How's the dog said? German Shepherd, no, my wife will have one, mate. Still looking. We found one. We've applied for an adoption. But we'll wait and see. I'll give you an update when we know. City need Jimenez and Alaba. You don't want much, do you, OG, baby? It's the Monday fan, Andy. We win trophies, then they moan. We remember the bad old days, and this is heaven to me. We aren't entitled to spam it. Yeah, and this is it. And, it's it is what it is. It just drives me mad when people just think it's like a FIFA game and they can just go and spend whatever, and it should be done overnight. It should be done in 24 hours. So, these things take a long time sometimes. And then they want to bring in, they moan about people not getting game time, but they then want to go and replace this person with another signing in a position that we don't really need. Koulibaly isn't coming. Oh, sorry, you said that one before. Yosri Rasidi. Man City want pay to Diego Callas, but less Koulibaly, so nonsense deal. Diego's always injured, not like Colo. I think if you mean Koulibaly was out 64 days last year for Napoli. Yeah, so take that as sort of, two and a bit months injuries. He was out of the whole season last season. So people moan about Sergio being out for 2 months and saying he's injury prone. Well, that's this defender that everybody wants. He was out for 2 months. City compete for competitions. There are plenty of games for someone like Aouar to get in the squad. We all know KDB's injury prone as well. I wouldn't say KDB is injury prone. He's had a few things. But then again, why bring in another player like Aouar when people like Mahrez, people like Bernardo Silva, now we've got Ferran Torres. They're the ones who are should be the players that we are rotating. Why bring in Aouar? Why bring in another one? Unless we get rid of somebody. And if you want Aouar in, who is going? Who do you want to get rid of? I've got a theory. City want to wait for Koulibaly so that Napoli don't have enough time for replacement. You don't get away with double crossing our owners. Seems that way. It is an option. Clearly, that is an option. City might play the long game. Considering we spent 1.7 billion in the last 10 years, we should be winning these trophies, mate. We haven't spent 1.7 billion, mate. So, in the last 10 years, I mean, that's ludicrous figure. Go back and check your figures, mate. I remember selling Kincladsie and Sweet and having no money at the club to keep them. How we can complain now? Now you are bang on. Some fans turn into selfish, cocky Reds. Yeah, it is. It is. It's becoming ridiculous. It really, really is. But I guess with success brings that kind of entitlement to some, and some think, because you win and break records left, right, and centre. You're centurions, then you treble winners or quadruple winners and formidables and things like that. Suddenly, the next season, you should be doing exactly the same. Name me another team that does that, apart from Bayern, let's say. Not many teams do that. Not in Spain, not in Italy. So it just doesn't happen. Simply does not happen. But it is what it is. Tosin is better than Garcia, you reckon? He wasn't. Fine. Everyone, it's an opinion. I'm guessing. Colin Matt, KK's taken ages, so I expect City and Napoli away apart. I think we all know Napoli are greedy. Yeah, well, I mean, the rumours are, again, going back to clickbait, they're turning around and saying City have never put in an official offer for Koulibaly. So, Bernardo was considered for Ballon d'Or that season. Good point, Tommy. I mean, that's how good he was. He didn't have a great season last season. We know that. But he's been proven in the Premier League. Alwa will take Gundo's place. Quality squad depth is needed to compete for competition, deal with injuries. Why is Gundogan being sold? Because if he's not, there's another midfielder, and that's the thing. That's what I said. If you want Alwa, who's going? But you have to get rid of one. You can't have 10, potentially 10 midfielders. You just can't. And people want the likes of Tommy Doyle to have an opportunity in the cup competitions and things like that. Well, there's another one. So, it's get rid Gundogan or Mahrez. Well, they're options. I mean, I'm not saying who we should get rid of. My question is, people are moaning and saying we should be getting Alwar in. Then who'd you get rid of? Who goes? I'll be surprised if City sell Gundogan, I must admit, but that might be an option. Martin wants Phil Foden to play, but since the Champions League quarter-final versus Lyon, Alwar, I don't know. I think, mind you, I won't say, didn't Martin say a number of months back, Phil Foden, Matt should go on loan maybe? I don't want anyone to go, just options. Have Alwar and he can chop and change with Foden, not just what KDB, in lower cup games, also a good option from the bench. Well, we've seen Foden being swapped around, haven't we? For the likes of Bernardo Silva. So, I mean, people are forgetting it. We've still got Bernardo Silva and Ferran Torres. So, Mahrez is the king. Oh, no. Sorry, mate. We're not having that garbage over here. Alwar over Gundogan reckons Nippon. Our defence wasn't even the best last season by numbers, really. We lacked passion and clinical finishing. Our defence wasn't even that bad. Yeah, absolutely. I think, was it 4 goals difference between Liverpool and us? And we scored, and we still scored the most goals, if I remember rightly. But yeah, we missed so many chances. I think that was the problem last season. I want to see Liam Delap more. Oh, look, here we go. Somebody who now wants to see a young kid who's done well in the under-21s now want to have an opportunity in the team. But we keep throwing Alwars and other people into the mix. The kids like Delap and Tommy Doyle, who started training today with the first team squad, they're not going to get an opportunity. And this is the whole thing. I mean, it's what the people want. Why don't City say to KK, ask for a transfer if you want to play for City? Refuses. Well, the rumours are, another rumour is, he quite easily will sign an extended new deal at Napoli and get an extended and an increased contract. But anyway, any news of Zinke? No news on Zinchenko leaving so far. I think the whole thing was that he might have been included in a deal for somebody, but maybe that's still on the table. We don't know. But anyway, I'm going. I've been on for 25 minutes. I've got to go. I've got stuff to do. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone for coming on. Really do appreciate. Sorry, it's a short one. I just haven't got time to do a massive in-depth one. So I'll try and get back tomorrow if I can. But I am maxed out with work and I'm going away at the weekend, so overseas. So I'm doing my best to try and get on and give you an update. But anyway, keep the faith, Blues, please. This slagging off of the board and City and everything else is pathetic. It really is. But anyway, take care. Have a good evening. And we'll see you soon.